And we are live. Hey, what is up, everyone? Tyler Ramsbey here, back with another live stream. Whether you're watching this on Twitch, maybe after the fact on YouTube, it is good to have you hanging out with me this evening. Now, my plan is to go for roughly the next 2 hours. It is 10 p.m. where I live, but I actually have my day job, which is actually my night job tonight. I have to do some after hours patching and upgrading. So I'll be on here till about midnight. Then I have to jump onto my work area until like 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna be a late night for me, but I still wanted to jump in and do some streaming. And specifically, we're gonna be working on the exploiting AD room on TryHackMe. I believe you need to be a subscriber on TryHackMe to be on there. And I'll share my screen. So if you have not subscribed to TryHackMe, do it. It is well worth your time, well worth your money. I have learned so much from TryHackMe. I am actually just to brag a little bit. I don't know why I'm proud of this, because it's just online platform, but I'm finally almost to end game, right? I've almost made it to the last rank, so that's exciting stuff. But we're gonna keep working through the exploiting AD room created by the great Amoeba Man, who often joins us on stream. He might be watching now, I haven't even checked, but it's been good so far. And if you are behind, let me just show you some cool things that Amoeba Man and the rest of the TryHackMe staff have been working on. If you scroll down on Learn, you can see all these different networks. So far, I have worked all the way through and streamed breaching AD, enumerating AD, lateral movement and pivoting, and we're continuing exploiting AD. This is part 2. We worked through tasks 1 through 3 last night, and when we're done with this, we'll jump into persisting AD as well after that. And what I like to share, just kind of a few house rules. I don't even know if that's the right terminology, but the first thing is this: I am not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert in any way, shape, or form. I am doing this because I want to learn. So you're welcome to come along with me on this journey. We can stumble through this together. I have not worked on this offline, so you can watch me learn it live as we work our way through it. So I am not an expert. I do not claim to be. I am just a fellow learner on this journey, trying to figure out AD stuff. My goal is I want to get the OSCP, and I'm pretty comfortable with Linux exploitation. Even like a single Windows box I'm getting more comfortable with, but AD I'm just not yet comfortable with. So this has been really, really good practice for me. I said a couple of rules. Oh, the other thing is I like to take it slow. And I think this is important. When it comes to TryHackMe or any other platform, or just learning in general, I think our tendency is a speed run, right? We try to get through it as fast as we possibly can. And I think there's wisdom in slowing down, right? The goal is not to finish this room as fast as we can. The goal is to learn. And the best way to learn is to slow down, read everything in its entirety, consider it, make sure you get it before you move on. So what I like to do is, as we work through these rooms, I like to read everything in its entirety. Now, what I've done so far up to this point, well, first we did the first 3 tasks, but just tonight, I had to re-download the exploiting AD access. You'll have to do that if you were following along last night. And then you have to add the IP to Network Manager and get your Kali Linux box configured. Now, I'm not gonna walk through that right now. I did it before I started this stream. But if you're confused on that, you can watch my part 1 video, which is posted on YouTube, on my YouTube page, and I walk through some of that there. Now, that being said, I'm gonna get everything pulled up on here. HunterBot said, when do you get Twitch partner? Dude, I have no idea. Like, me and Nate are such noobs at this. He said something about us being Twitch affiliates, or that we were gonna be affiliates. We're missing on something. I don't think either me or Nate have any idea what we're doing when it comes to Twitch. So, HunterBot, if you have any advice or tips, I'm all ears. I'm sure Nate's all ears as well, to figure out what the heck we're doing. I can barely get OBS to work properly with all the VMs and everything that I'm streaming at the same time. Okay, let's see. Let me go ahead and start my timer. I like to work in 25-minute increments, so we will work hard for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, work 25 minutes, 5-minute break, etc. So I'm gonna hit start on that beast. That is starting now. We got this pulled up. We likely have to jump into a shell, but we'll see where it goes. I'm gonna adjust the music just a little bit. If the music's too loud, Twitch gets mad and says it's copyrighted. It'll probably still say it anyways, but that's fine. I'm recording it on my own as well, so if Twitch wants to be mean to me, they can be mean to me. I don't think I want to be a Twitch partner, because they'll probably yell at us for always using copyrighted music. So Nate's gonna have to make our own music pretty soon for our streams. I'm gonna adjust my music down a little bit more. Okay. Got Twitch pulled up, so leave a comment if you're watching. But let's dive into it. Exploiting automated relays, picking up where we left off last night. In this task, we will look at some automated relays. Authentication attempts are constantly flying across the network. And as shown in the breaching AD room, if we are lucky, we can intercept some of these challenges to gain access. Are we going to use responder? Maybe. But what if we don't like to wait? What if we can coerce authentication to occur? Although we already have privileged access to THM server 1, which we did back here, I wonder if I'm going to have to redo those steps. We'll find out. We could be in a position where we did not have access to a constrained delegation exploit. This is another excellent attack that can be performed to gain privileged access to hosts. All right. All Windows hosts have a machine account. Sorry, I'm adjusting my Twitch screen over here. All Windows hosts have a machine account. Essentially, this is the user account associated with the machine. Unless someone tampered with the account of the host, the passwords of these accounts are uncrackable. By default, they are 120 characters, UTF-16 long, and are automatically rotated every 30 days. In AD, these machine accounts are used quite a bit in different services. Different domain controllers use their machine accounts to synchronize AD updates and changes. When you request a cert on behalf of the host you're working on, the machine account of that host is used for authentication to the AD certification service. There is an exceptional case in AD where one machine has admin rights over another machine. Essentially, in the AD configuration, administrative permissions over a host have been granted to another host. Again, this is expected functionality such as domain controllers or SQL clusters that must be synchronized. However, these instances provide a very interesting attack vector for coercing authentication. I'm looking at Amoeba. Hey there, looking forward to round 2. The next couple are some of my favorite attacks. Sweet. We have Amoeba Man joining us. He is the creator of this room, so when I get stuck, he tells me what to do. It's a good partnership. We first need to identify cases where a machine account has administrative access over another machine. We can use BloodHound for this, but it means we will have to write some custom ciphers. Okay, so let's go ahead and relaunch BloodHound. We obviously had it working before. Now, if you're watching this, you do have to downgrade to a different BloodHound version. You can watch my stream from last night and follow along with that if you'd like to. But you don't actually, when you do it, you can actually just download it locally, like to a folder like I'm running here, and run it from the folder. But before you can launch BloodHound, you first need to do Neo4j console. So let's do that. And we'll call this one BloodHound. Oh, let's try this. See if this does it for us. Man, I'm already tired. That's not good. I'm gonna be up for a while tonight. Apparently need more caffeine. There we go. That looks like that is getting started good now. I think it's up and running. Yeah, okay, perfect. Open up BloodHound. Do some sniffing. And I wonder if our database is still in here. Oh, yes, it is. Do we have all of our users? Yep, we do. Okay, cool. And I'm going to go ahead and split my screen, although it makes things look so terrible, just so I can see both. Let's scroll down. Okay, so we need to write a custom query. That sounds good. It would be... Is it filter? No. It's not search for a node. Analysis, that's what I'm looking for, I think. Yeah, custom queries. Okay, and we'll just name this. What are we looking for? We are going to look for machine account that has admin access over another one. So we'll just call it machine admin like that. Enter a cipher query. Your query must return nodes or paths. We'll copy this and see if we can understand it. So we're matching P1, is that like path? C1 computer, okay. Member of return P, So this query will attempt to find instances where a computer has the admin2 relationship right there over another computer, and that's N right there over another computer. You should see output similar to this one. So let's go ahead and try it. Let's save it, and then we'll run it. There it is right there. Okay. So if we are looking at this, we can see that the THM server, the THM server 2 is admin 2, the THM server 1, because it's in the server management group. I think I'm understanding that correctly. So it shows us that THM server 2 has, okay, yep, I'm understanding that. The printer bug, it's not a bug, it's a feature, Microsoft. Hey, what up, ZP977? You meet Savitar. I don't think I've met Savitar. Maybe I have and I forgot, but if I have, I apologize to whoever Savitar is, but I don't think I've met him. Should I meet him? Is he cool? Or she? I guess I don't know gender. All right, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Microsoft. Seriously, when this was reported, Microsoft responded that this is a feature. That's awesome. The printer bug is a feature of the MS RPRN protocol, and I know Amoeba Man, like, his favorite OS is Microsoft. I mean, he runs Windows 11 as his base OS. It is by far, it's really not. He told me he hates Windows outside of hacking it. I think he uses Linux Mint as his base OS. The printer bug is a feature of the MS RPRN protocol, Print System Remote Protocol, which allows a domain user to remotely force a target host running the print spooler service to authenticate to an arbitrary IP address. There have been a few of these bugs in recent years. Spooler, Petipotum, Print Nightmare, by the way, shameless plug. If you go to my YouTube channel, I walk through how to exploit Print Nightmare. Microsoft claims that the only bug is that some of these lies, Amoeba Man, they are. Microsoft claims that the only bug is that some of these do not require AD creds at all, but this issue has been resolved through security patches. Therefore, to exploit this, apart from machine account admin privs, we also need to meet the following 4 conditions. 1, a valid set of AD account credentials. Okay. 2, network connectivity to the target's SMB service. So I assume that would be our target, or is that? The target host must be running the print spooler service, and the host must not have SMB signing enforced. Condition 1 and 2 have already been met. The only 2 we need to ensure works are conditions 3 and 4. We need to determine if the print spooler service is running. Since we don't have access to THM server 2, we need a query from the network perspective. In this case, we can use a WMI query from our SSH session on THM work 1. Okay, so we need to get that SSH session. Let's go ahead and go here. I wonder if my same creds will work. Otherwise, I can just go grab some creds as well. I just don't even remember the syntax for the domain controller stuff. Let's go up here. Oh, I think it's in step 2. Am I blind? Yeah, obviously I skipped it. I did. Oh man. It is in task 1. And I just went through it too fast. Here we go. Let's see if our creds work from before. So you'll notice if you're used to SSH, it's a little bit of a different format because we're SSHing onto this network, right? So we have to specify the domain controller. But let's do Louis.Thornton. And it could be that we have to request new creds, but we'll find out. ISLR 3423. Oh, nope, it worked. Okay, cool. Easy enough. So we can reuse those creds at least. So let's scroll back down to right here. We're going to jump into PowerShell, it looks like. So let's do that. We need to determine if the print spooler service is running. Since we don't have access to THM server 2, we need to query from the network. Okay, yep, we read that. And let's just type it out. Although you could definitely copy and paste it. I think it's good for syntax and memorization to type it out and to make mistakes and troubleshoot them. So we have this Win32 printer. We're doing computer, so we're specifying a computer name. And that's at THM server 2 that we saw above and in the results from BloodHound. Access is denied. I wonder if I need to put myself in the IT support group. So what you would have missed if you weren't here last night is the group that we're in, domain users, have delegation permission to essentially put themselves in the IT support group, and the IT support group has certain permissions. Now, because I'm doing this in 2 different nights, it may be that I need to do that. I need to go back and do that before this part's going to work. Or maybe I need to be logged in as the tier 2 admin as well. So we may have to redo some of what we did. Yeah, I bet that's right. Amoeba Man, I'll just ask you if you're still on the stream. Am I correct in my understanding? You can read the note. This is happening more often. Oh, once again, I didn't read the note. So let me scroll down. The output from the commandlet verifies that the service is running. If we get an access denied error, you can perhaps attempt the PowerShell command of this. Okay. So it had nothing to do with having to redo our steps. However, Microsoft has been cracking down viewing these ports from the network's perspective. If both give you an error, you may just need to take a leap of faith. So just trust. Okay. That's fine. We'll take the advice that we need to take a leap of faith, and we're going to trust that it has met that 3rd condition. So let's check SMB signing. In order to relay the coerced authentication attempt, SMB signing should not be enforced. It should be noted that there is a difference between SMB signing being allowed and SMB signing being enforced. Okay, yep, that makes sense in my head. Since some legacy systems do not support SMB signing, by default, the configuration of SMB is that signing is allowed but not enforced, meaning that it will only be used if supported. Since we will be hosting a malicious SMB server, we can ensure our server does not support signing, forcing the target not to sign the SMB authentication attempt. To verify that THM Server 1 and THM Server 2 do not have SMB signing enforced, we can use nmap on our attack box. So we're just running a script to check SMB2. You could also, if you did like the -A to throw all scripts at it, I believe it automatically runs this. So I'm just going to make this big so you guys can see the syntax a little better. So you can see what we're doing is nmap. We're specifying a script, and this is the script that we're doing. We're targeting specifically port 445, and then we are targeting server 1 and server 2. And we will, of course, do that from our attack box. So let me just open a new tab. You don't really need to be root to do this. And I'm going to show you guys a few different ways to do this just because I think both of them work. We'll find out. This one should be a little bit quicker. You could also do a -V on the end for verbose, then you can see it while it's working. So if we look through our results for this, we can see that on THM server 1, I believe is going to be this first one, message signing enabled but not required. And also for that one, message signing enabled but not required. I think you could also do something like, if we go like this, -A. It might even give us more information, -V for verbose. Let's see if that does the same thing, just because I'm curious. Shouldn't take too long since we're specifying that port. I said that now, it feels like it's taking forever. We'll let that do its thing. Let's go back to this. We can see that SMB signing is enabled but not enforced based on the output. This means that all of our conditions are met and we can start the attack. Exploiting authentication relays. Note, this attack can be unstable. All right, let's see what happens. Abusing the print spooler service may cause it to crash, and a callback is not always guaranteed. For this reason, the previous task already provided you with the permissions required to continue. So if this doesn't work, we may have to redo some of the work we did last night, I think is what that's specifying. If we look at this, our scan is done. I'll just make this full screen. So when we do the -A, I think it stands for like all. I don't really know. But you'll see it's giving us a little more information. When I'm using Nmap, like to attack a box, usually I do Nmap -P- to scan all the ports. And once the ports show up, then I target each port with the -A, just because it seems to give me some good information. But you can see we have the SMB stuff right here as well that is enabled but not required. So just a few different ways that you can get that. The other way is quicker, of course, but if you're looking for more information, you could also do it the -A way. Okay. We will be using spool sample. It's a clever name, to exploit the authentication relay. It is a C# exploit, but has already been compiled for you and stored in the C tools directory on THM Work 1. We will use spoolsample.exe to coerce THM Server 2 to authenticate to us on our attack box, and then mPackets NTLM relay xpi to relay the authentication attempt on THM Server 1. Note that if you are using your own VM, you will need to make sure you have the updated version of mPacket that supports SMB version 2, which I think I do. The first step is to set up the NTLM relay. On our attack box, we can use the following. So we're going to do it a little bit different because we're not in the attack box. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's see if we can locate that, which we might just be able to run it. Relay x.py. Yep, we can. Perfect. Because it is in our opt folder. And I think this part of the syntax would be the same. So we're doing SMB2 support. That's why I said make sure you have the latest mPacket. We'll see if ours works. And we're going to do the THM server 1 IP here. So let's go ahead and grab that. Okay, we'll just go like this again. Even though it kills the format. Oh my goodness. 10.200.83.201. Scroll back down. If we specify the host name of THM Server 1 instead of the IP, the host could request that we use Kerberos authentication instead of NTLM. Interesting. Hence, we should specify the IP instead. With the relay listening, we can now coerce THM Server 2 to authenticate to us, and an SSH terminal on THM Work 1 execute the following. So let's get this running. Okay, we got server starting, waiting for connections. We'll just call SMB poison. I'm pretty sure that's not proper terminology, but and we'll call this one shell. All right, we are gonna run spool sample. All right, let's do it. Oh, it's gonna look bad because of that. Looks like we have some tickets. In case we need to steal a ticket somebody else already made, they already got Jay Wilson for us. That was nice of them. Spoolsample.exe. And THM server 2. Make sure I spelled that right. za.tryhackme.loc for local. Our attacker IP, which is this right here. I don't think we need it in quotations. Maybe we do. We'll find out. Yeah, I don't know. Let's give this a shot. Your attacker IP should correspond with your TON-X interface for the network. If all goes well, you should have received authentication. Oh, maybe it does need quotations. Oh. There we go. Let's try that. We'll just copy it this time. Oh, but now I forgot my IP was. Maybe man says fingers crossed. I'm sure if it doesn't work, it's probably my fault at first. I did something. Oh, y'all saw me copy that, right? Let's go back. It would take me, you know, if I could copy and paste something in less than 5 minutes, we're doing good here. I don't know why I didn't copy. Let me just try to do the shortcut. Maybe that'll work better. Okay. If all goes well, you should have received an authentication attempt and relay to THM server 1. Hey, maybe it worked. You can see we're getting authentication. If I scroll up here, let's just open this big and look at it ourselves. Starting, so server started, blah, blah, SMB thread 4. Connection from THM server 2, which is what we want. Attacking target that. Authentication against that as server 2. Succeed. No more targets. Connection from is there. There are more targets left. Service remote registry is a stop state. System boot key. We have a hash for server admin there. New style hash. We got server admin hash, gas default account, the magical vagrant account, and trevor.local. Hey, I think it worked. Let's read through what we're going to do with all this stuff. Okay, you should receive authentication attempt, and we did. The output resembles what would happen if you use the -c who am I all command. However, by specifying no command, you should now have performed a hash dump. These credentials can be used to get shell on the host. Okay, well, let's go ahead and just grab all these, shall we? So if we grab these guys, do I have a different terminal? I don't think I do. Ah. Miba says, congrats, glad it actually worked on stream. I'm happy as well. Usually things don't work for me, but usually it's my fault, honestly, when they don't work. I either don't read or I do something wrong. Okay, so we could obviously clean this up a little bit. I don't know if we're going to try to crack any hashes or maybe we're just going to pass the hash. But at least that's a little bit cleaner that way. There we go. We got our accounts and we got our hashes. Fantastic. The output resembles, okay, so we have it. How often in days are the passwords of window machine accounts rotated by default? I think it was 30 by memory. Yep. What should be enforced if we want to relay an SMB authentication? What should not be enforced? SMB signing. What is the value of the flag stored in the desktop directory of the administrator.za user on THM server 1? Well, let's find out. So, do I need to crack the hash first? Because we're not on THM server 1, are we? No. We're on THM work 1, right? So what is the value? What's the hint? The question will be answered using the access gained in the previous task. Does it mean the access from last night? Can I crack one of these hashes and use that as a means to get on there? I'd assume I can, right? If I go like time for a break. I don't feel like taking a break. We're going to do another 25-minute interval. I'll take a quick water break. So, yeah. Pass the hash in the lateral movement room metasploit. Yeah, let's give that a shot. So I think what it is referring to is like the access from the previous task that we would have done last night. But let's go ahead and do a pass the hash attack with Metasploit. Let's see if I can break it or if I can get it to work, shall we? So we could use, server admin, right? Or Trevor.local. Who is Trevor.local, I wonder? Like, I wonder what permissions that dude has. Oh, because that's a local account. So obviously it's not going to come up in BloodHound, maybe. We see T1 Trevor, so there's a bunch of Trevors here. But the .local wouldn't show up. It is an account on that THM server too. But let's try to do it with like the server admin one. So I think what I would need to do, I don't know if I need this whole thing or if I have to separate the hash from it, but let's go ahead and echo that. And we'll call it server admin.text. Maybe like that. And we'll find out once we get there what I need. I might have to massage that a little bit to make it work. Starting the Metasploit Framework Council. And you know, while it does that, we could just glance through this real quick. Can I use like evil WinRM as well for that? Anyways, now that we have interpreter council and dump the hashes, blah, blah. So that's after we have interpreter PS exec. That might be a little bit different there. Apparently I looked at this before. Yeah. Evil WinRM. That's what I was thinking. So let's try that actually. Do I have it on this? Do I actually have it on this box? I don't think this is gonna work. Oh, it is. Oh, it's gonna bug out because of the DNS. Well, it might not bug out. It just takes a little bit. So while that does its thing, we should be able to. Can you stop doing that, please? Oh my goodness. Did it copy it for me at least? If we do something like... It's fantastic. So if we do evil WinRM -I and grab the I don't remember what server we're going on. Is it server 1 that it wants us to do? Yep, THM server 1. That IP right there. 10.200.83.201. Our -user is going to be server admin. And then our hash, check Discord real quick. Oh, it's just Jack saying we're live. Okay, cool. Last time I had a message on Discord, it was Amoeba Man telling me I wasn't sharing my screen, so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't, something wasn't broken. And then we're going to grab the hash there. There, we got evil WinRM. If we just run it, it should show us the help files. That's good. And now we want to grab that hash. which you guys can see how much of a noob I am. I always forget which part of this is technically like the hash that you want to use. I always have to look it up. Oh, that's not what I want. So if we look at, is it the one directly after it? This says it's the last number there. I wonder if that's what it is. Yeah, okay. Let's give that a shot. So if we grab this last code right there, just get our command set up here. It worked, y'all. I was kind of doubtful that that was going to work, but it did. That makes me very happy. So I didn't even use a walkthrough on that. That was my own thinking for once. CD users dir cd administrator .za and cd desktop. Whoop whoop, says Amoeba Man. See, I'm learning slowly but surely. I'll eventually get this stuff down. I'll eventually get the OSCP. Look at that, we got our flag with Evo WinRM. And this is what I would encourage you guys to do truly. Like, if this is the first video of the series you're watching, first of all, let me just, a few things. If you watch my videos, don't just watch them follow along, right? Don't just watch my videos and like grab flags and input them. You're not learning. The goal is to learn. It's not to rack up points on TryHackMe. That doesn't mean anything, right? The goal is to learn. So make sure you're doing it alongside of me, or just watch my video. If you're stuck, just watch my video till you're no longer stuck, and then keep working on your own if you want to do it that way. But work alongside me. Make sure you have Kali Linux pulled up and you are following along so that you can learn. The other part of it is do these in order, okay? So start with enumerating AD, or start with AD basics if you're new to AD in general, because what I've noticed, even if I've gone through these rooms, and I was just telling this to Amoeba Man over Discord, where we're messaging back and forth, is the pieces really do start to stick together. Like when you first start, it's this puzzle, it doesn't make sense, but as you work your way through it, these puzzle pieces start coming together. So would encourage you to do that. Let's jump back to here and throw that flag in. All right. And now that we did that and I skipped my first 25-minute break, or not 25, that'd be a long break. Our first 5-minute break, I think now is the time for us to take our 5-minute break. This is a good break stop. I'm going to stop my timer right here. Do that, and let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break, y'all, and we will be right back in 5 minutes. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Hopefully, you had a good 5-minute break. I still can't get over the fact that Evil WinRM worked on my first try after installing it, and I had the syntax right. I should just quit now while I'm ahead, man. But let's keep working through this. This time, I will remember to share my screen, unlike last night. There we go. Okay, task 5, exploiting AD users. We have gotten quite far with our exploitation up to this point. We have full admin access to workstations and servers. Essentially, we can perform post-exploitation. I'm just going to pause here because I want to make sure I'm understanding something. So we are now an admin on that server 1 station. Oh, so server 2 is admin to server 1. Okay. Okay. That probably didn't make any sense to you guys, but I was wondering in my head how those two things were related for a second. All right, it's time for target AD users and user behavior. The factory of the future will only have 2 employees, a human and a dog. Oh, good point. Extend network time. Yeah, how are we doing? Should I just keep clicking it a bunch of times, see if I can break it again? All right, the factory of the future will only have 2 employees, a human and a dog. The human will be there to feed the dog, and the dog will be there to bite the human if they try to touch something. That's good. Users are, unfortunately, often the weakest link in the security chain. Just think about weak passwords and bad habits, such as granting overly permissive permissions. It would be ignorant and ineffective to overlook this attack surface. While it is good to build up a proper enumeration and attack methodology against AD users, in this task we will focus on 2 elements. Credential management, how users store their creds in AD. This is quite important since users may have multiple sets of creds, and remembering all of them can be a hassle. Sorry, I'm just moving my microphone. And keylogging. Often during exploitation, we need to understand how normal users interact with the system. Together with screen grabs, keylogging can be a useful tool to gain this understanding from an attacker's perspective. Hunting for creds. Now that we have compromised THM Server 1, we should probably look around and see if there's any useful information there. Have a look at the user directories and see if there's some useful information in any of them. Okay, let's do it. Let's just glance around on our own. Who do we got? We have administrator. We have Irene Leach, which seems to be maybe a local account. And we have a bunch of tier 1 admins. We have that Trevor.local account. We have the Vagrant account, which was used to set this stuff up. Let's glance at which one of these would seem interesting. Maybe like a T1 admin. So if we CD to T1 Jake Scott. See if there's anything like in desktop. Nope. And I'm sure the test even tells us what we're looking for. But, whoops. I'm sure, like, if we were doing proper enumeration, I mean, there's a few things we could do. We could do WinPs, right, which might find some interesting files if we uploaded WinPs and ran it. We could go through each one of these folders. That'd probably be the proper way to do it, to see, like, what's in each one of these things, like what might be interesting. But we're gonna cheat, as I bet this maybe tells us your enumeration effort should lead you to a .kdbx file. A quick Google search should confirm our suspicion this file is indeed very valuable. So we need to find this file right there. So let's see if we can find it. Maybe we do need to look through these different user directories. If we go to remember, those T1 admin would be created 2 tasks ago with the PS session. Got to look through those on an assessment, but can skip for now. Oh, okay, gotcha. So check the 2 non-T1 users. Okay, gotcha. So maybe Rossbert, or maybe these local accounts. Let's see what this is. I don't think there's anything in here. We'll just double check. So he said check the two non-T1. So we have Irene Leach, we have Trevor.local. Let's look at Rossbird. Otherwise, it's probably that Trevor.local account might be what we're looking for. I bet that's what it is, because they showed up as well when we did our other thing. Whoops. Hey, we found it, y'all. So it was in documents on Trevor.local, and it's called password database. Right? That I would assume is useful. Remember to check document folders as well. Oh yeah. So I know my stream's a little bit behind, so you must have been typing that as I was finding it in actual time. That's funny. Okay. Oh, KeePass. I'm almost certain I did a room on TryHackMe where I exploited this. But let's go ahead and dive into this. A quick Google search should confirm our suspicion that this file is indeed very valuable. We can use Meterpreter's download command to recover this file. I can't, because I'm using EvilWinRM. Right? But we just need that file. We could do this in a few different ways. We could do like, trying to think if there's anything built into EvilWinRM that would allow us to do that. Otherwise, do we have Python on here? Oh, I'm in PowerShell. Doubt that'll work. No. So to transfer files, I'm just thinking this through. I don't have an SSH connection. I could host like an FTP server or something. We need to grab that file. Let me just glance ahead at this tasks. This issue, however, is the database is encrypted. We can attempt to crack the password of anyone who uses a credentialed database. Usually it has a savvy. We have more success. Meterpreter has a built, so we need to get a Meterpreter shell, right? Which we should be able to, if we should be able to put a shell on here through EvilWinRM. I'm looking at Meterpreter or Amoeba Man. You will get a Meterpreter beacon later in the task to keylog the user, then you can download. Okay. I'm thinking we could also get a Meterpreter shell, like if we just created a payload and then uploaded it with our EvilWinRM and then connected it back to our attack machine, would be a way to get a Meterpreter shell. At least in my head it works. Let's go ahead and keep reading though. System is sometimes too privileged. Meterpreter has a built-in keylogger. This will be useful for extracting the user's keystrokes. However, we can't just start this keylogger and hope for the best since our shell is currently running in the system context. System won't be typing any keystrokes, so this won't help us. To capture the correct user's creds, we will need to ensure that our shell is running in the context of that user, and we have Trevor's hash. I think I could EvilWinRM as Trevor.local. Fortunately, Meterpreter provides us with a migrate feature, and since we are running as system, we should be able to migrate to any process. You have remote code execution on THM server 1. Use this to get a Meterpreter shell. Okay, that's what I was thinking. If you need a recap on using Meterpreter and Metasploit, here's a module on its use. However, for a quick rundown, you can use the following command to generate a PowerShell Meterpreter payload. Okay, I did have the right thinking. And then you can use this command to create the associated listener in the MSF console. Okay, let's go ahead and let's try to do this on our own. Like we have those steps there. Just for learning purposes. And we have this, so let's go ahead and do that command and let me walk you guys through this for my own benefit, but also for you. We're running MSF Venom, -P is specifying the payload. We want to get a Meterpreter shell. Reverse TCP is just kind of standard so that we can listen via TCP. Our L host is going to be exploit AD. which actually should work, and I want to show you guys why. If we do IPA, you'll notice that our IP here is on this exploit AD interface. So when we specify exploit AD, it's automatically grabbing our IP there. Now we do need to specify a listening port. The standard often is something like 4444. Now you probably shouldn't do that in a legit security assessment, because like that's auto blocked by most firewalls because it's the standard for Metasploit. It always puts it in there, but for our purposes we can do it. I'm pretty sure Windows Defender is not running on these boxes, and we're going to create a file called shell.ps1. I'm going to call mine hacksmarter.ps1. Actually, let's do it hack. I learned this from Nate. Like, put your port number in your shell just in case you have to use it again. You know what port you ran it on. So we'll call it hack444.ps1. And Amoeba Man said there's other ways you could do this, such as impact its SMB server. Okay. We could even try that route. We'll see how this works. Let's do that. And then we need to set up a listener, which I saw the shortcut here. And I just learned about this the other day, right? So usually I type MSF console, I wait for it to load, then I hit use. Well, you can bypass all that with this -Q-X. And then we're setting our payload, set lhost exploit AD, set L port, listening port, and then exploit. So it's just running all of that together. You have to do sudo if you're not logged in as root, but we're logged in as root. Our payload is created. You'll see that there. So there's a few different things we're going to have to do here to get this to work. Let's change this to shell2 real quick. What we're going to end up doing in this one is running a web server, because we'll have to grab it from our victim machine. So python3.m HTTPS server will do port 80 just for ease of, is it already 521? Okay, we'll do 8080. Okay, we got that, and then we're gonna switch over to root. And we have to set a few things here, namely our listening port. I don't think this, no, maybe that does need to be there. No? Let me look at these parentheses real quick. MSF console, we have all that in parentheses. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. Let's try how it says. Nope, I didn't think so. Oh, maybe it worked. No, I don't think it did. Oh, we're just missing the... I think this parentheses needs to match. Not parentheses, freaking quotation mark. It's too late, y'all. Needs to match. Oh, did it work? Oh, kind of. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Options. So, we have our L host, our L port. Now it's just run. There we go. We got that thing running. We got our web server going right there on port 8080. And we called it hack. Gosh, I forgot what I called my shell file. Hack 4444. And Amoeba Man, this is a very interesting problem if you think about it. You could become the Trevor.local user, but that does not really help you to progress since you still don't know the password they use on KeePass. Hence, you need to keylog the user and wait for it. Think about some web applications like a banking portal. Yeah. Interesting. You could have compromised a DA if the creds are stored in a creds database. You will have to keylog the user to get them. Or you could impersonate the user and steal active browser cookies to the website. But what it shows is you can own the full domain and still have a blocker against reaching your goal that you need to solve. Very interesting. That is a good point. Very good. Very interesting stuff. hack444.ps1. Well, let's see if we can even get our keylogger kicked off. So if we do cert util going off memory dash cert util URL cache dash F, I might be totally screwing this up. I might have to go look at the syntax real quick. Here's our IP. Let's copy that. 8080 hack. What did I call it? Hack4444.ps1. Did I have the syntax right off memory? Maybe I did. No, I didn't. I might have to specify an out file. Maybe output. No, that didn't work. Let's look at the syntax. I think it was over here. Cert URL cache. Oh, split. Split. Why split? I've never seen that before. Maybe it explains it. I never use split. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong often. I'll dig in that later. But I bet this would work. So you can host your interpreter using Python web server. We did it. Copy it with something. URL cache. I'm trying to think how I usually do it. URL cache. Trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong on my own syntax. Do I have it here? Cert util URL cache dash F. Oh, you don't have to do dash O. You just specify the name that you're saving it there. That's what I'm doing wrong on my end. Okay, let's try that again. So, should just be able to go like this. I bet that'll work. Yep, that's all I was doing wrong. Cool. Cool, cool. Let's make sure we have our interpreter running there. And now, we should, in theory, be able to run that. Look at that, my friends. Oh, it's slow. There we go. Okay, we have an interpreter shell. It worked. Once you have an interpreter shell, you can continue. The first step to see if the users have any running processes on the machine. Okay, let's go ahead and try that. Hopefully Trevor.local is running something. I never started my 25-minute timer, y'all, but we might just keep moving. I'll have to sign off here in like 40 minutes or so I can switch over to my job that actually pays me money. Maybe one time I'll be a full-time Twitch streamer, but I need more than a few viewers, I think, to to reach that point. Okay, so you can see we have that running explorer.exe. It seems like we are lucky the user has an active session on THM server 1. Let's migrate to the process of this user. The safest bet is usually something like explorer.exe. So we're going to migrate and then specify that, the PID, process ID. Should work. Let's see if we get migrate completed successfully. Yep, we did. Cool. We can specify with get UID. We are Trevor.local. Now we're ready to start our keylogger. So it's just key scan start. I've never done that before. We started it. Now we have to be patient and wait. If we are lucky, we'll capture some creds. Give it a couple of minutes and then run the following to dump captured keystrokes. So let's give it a few minutes. You know, let's do our 5-minute break just because this is a good time to take a quick 5-minute break, let this run its thing, and come back in 5 minutes and we'll dump our keystrokes and see where we are at. So I'll throw it up. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Enjoy your 5-minute break. And we are back. Welcome back, y'all. We hopefully have some creds. Let's check by running key scan dump, I believe. I'm really sure no one will guess my password. Yeah, I don't think I ever would have guessed that. We were able to grab his password. Now, let's go ahead and store that, and we will call it, let's edit trevor.local and his password there. We'll call it trevor.text, just so we have that. And so we have his password. I'm really sure no one will guess my password. I wonder if we can now use that to get into that KeePass. So this is a straightforward example of targeting AD users. There's a lot more that can be done. It is essential to include user targeting in your exploitation methodology for AD. To answer the questions for this task, you will need KeePass. It has been installed on the attack box for you, so just search for and run the application. If you're using your own VM on most Linux distros, let's go ahead and get that started. KeePass X. Just clean some of this up. We probably don't need this running anymore. Probably don't need this running anymore. Oh, and you'll notice if you're following along on your own machine, it just takes a little bit longer because it's first going out to the domain control, the DNS, which of course is not internet facing. So it just takes a little bit to actually connect until it switches over to the secondary DNS. So anyways, or you can download it from here. Okay, so we have a direct link. Also make sure to use the interpreter download command to download the KeePass database to your host. Okay, let's go ahead and do that real quick. So if we need a CD to, let's see, users, geez, trevor.local documents, right? Oh my goodness, I can't type, y'all. There we go. It saved it to home Cali. So let's just copy from home Cali. That current directory. And there we have it. And I think we got KeePass installed. Okay. So far, so good. So do we just run that? Like, and ask for that, which was, I'm really don't think anyone will guess my password or something. Let's just check what that was again. And I may be doing this wrong. We'll go look at the actual instructions after this if I don't get it. Hey. Come on. Hey, we have a flag there. So that must be what we're looking for. There's a flag. I bet it's going to ask for that shortly. Okay. Let's see. If you're using Kali, although persistence will only be discussed in the next room, now might be a good time to create a local account on THM Server 1 and create an admin right so you have a good foothold. Since this is not really needed for the rest of the task, if you want to do this, you'll need to do a bit of research on this yourself. So what application is used to open that? What interpreter command do we use to move from system to user? Migrate. What is a password? Oh. Oh, shoot. Gosh dang it. I was not sharing my screen, was I? Dude, why do I always do that? That was only for a few minutes this time. Let me show you guys what I did real quick. Let me just start over. Let me close this out. Close this out. And so I downloaded KeePass, and then I downloaded the database to my machine, and then just ran this command like that. Threw the password in there, which I don't remember what it was. I'm really sure no one will know my password. Let me get Twitch pulled back up. Okay. And that's what I did when I had you guys looking at my face. And we had that flag there. You click this. It's like any other password keeper, right? And that's our flag. I think that's all I did when you guys were just looking at my face, so I apologize for that. I'm sure I'll do it again. So I apologize in advance for the next time I do it. And now it says, although persistence will be discussed, now might be a good time to create a local account on THM server 1 and granted admin rights so you have a good foothold. Since it's not really needed for the rest of the task, if you want to do this, you'll need to do a bit of research. I'm just going to glance at this real quick. I'm looking down at my time. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll create a local account just for fun and pick it up at task 6 at the next stream. Maybe. So if we want to create an account, I mean, I don't know what Trevor.local, what permissions he has. Let's go. Oh, we have permissions here. So to create an account with PowerShell, we already did that before. We don't want AD user. We want to create a local user. So what we're going to do, new local user. Give some examples. Create a user account. I want to create one that is admin. Maybe we create the account first. And then specify, then we give it permissions to be an admin maybe. So if we do new local user, we'll create one that has a password. We'll call it hack smarter password. Oh, we have to do the password as secure string. And Amoeba Man says, I mean, you have the hash for the server admin account, which is already nice persistence, but you would have to, again, use this account since it's admin to create a local user. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So yeah, we do have persistence because we have that hash. So will that hash change when the network restarts? Or when I start back up, can I jump directly on there? I don't know. Equals read host as secure string. We'll set our password there. We'll do this just for practice. Full name, hack smarter. We can even add a description. Description. Twitch.tv hack smarter. Let's try that. Whoops. That's all I need to do. So it's an LDAPS or LAPS account, so 30 days of persistence usually. Cool. So we can always log back in. I mean, if I make a local account, it's going to be gone. I don't know what I did here. I broke it. Let's just go like this. What did I do wrong? Cannot convert the password 123 value of type system string to type system. Oh, so I have to do the secure string thingy. Password read host as secure string. I'm doing my syntax wrong. That's what I must be doing. Password equals read host as secure string. Then do I have to specify the... Well, let's just make an account without a password. Who cares? So that's going to be new local user. We have our name. New local user, specify our name right there. Hack smarter. We don't want a password. We can do a description. And we'll call it no password. Right? It worked. Now, how do we assign admin permissions with PowerShell? That's the next thing. Add a local group member commandlet. That makes sense. Look, and gives us an example right here. So let's look at this real quick. We're going to add a local group member. Our group will be administrators. The member we're going to have is Hack Smarter. I don't want to specify Microsoft account. I'm guessing I don't have to. I might be able to just do that. So now if I, is it git? Let's see if that actually worked. To get the local groups in the Windows system using PowerShell, can use git local group. This command will list all the groups. Let's just read the documentation for git local group, because then we should be able to maybe query the members. Get the administrators group. Let's try that real quick. I don't know if that will show the users. We could also do net user. We could just do that. So if we do net user, hack smarter, not domain. I don't know if that'll work or not. And there's our account we created. Hack smarter, our description, and we're in the administrators group. So if we were setting up persistence and we wanted our own account that we could use, we just did that. We created a local account and then we moved that local account into the local administrators group. So we did even the extra work on the room, but we also have the hash, of course, of the server admin one. So we have persistence that way, and it sounds like that will last into tomorrow. It's 11:25. I have 20 minutes or so. Let's go ahead and just start working through GPO. We'll see how far we get. We may have to redo some of this depending if we don't finish it, but that's fine. The more we do it, the better practice. So Keylogging the user allowed us to decrypt their cred database, providing us with credentials that could be useful to further our goal of AD exploitation. Namely the service serveman account, which I saw. Did I close it? Just want to look at that again myself. I'm really sure no one will guess my password. Haha, I got it. There it is, super strong pass. Luckily for us, we already have SharpHound data that we can use. Use the search feature in BloodHound. Let's review the permissions that the discovered account has. Well, let's do that. So it's service serveman at za.tryhackme. Let's see if we can grab that. There we go, that's what I wanted. So, if we scroll down, domain users. Those are the unrolled ones. So we can, okay, so it's just the jump box. Nothing crazy there. Oh, look at that. What's this right here? Here might be our next attack vector. We have generic write permission to the management server pushes. I wonder if that's what we're going to focus on, or maybe that's something else. Let's find out. Hey, I was right. See, that's why I always like try it yourself first and then kind of scroll through. It's a good way to learn it. One permission in particular stands out for the account ownership over a GPO. Furthermore, when we do a bit of investigation, it seems like this GPO is applied to our THM server 2 machine. So what are we doing to get there? We're specifying that and then the THM server 2. So let's just do that ourselves as well. It's kind of like Google Maps. It's the best way I can think of it. THM server 2. Serviceman, manage server push, group links, GPO link. Okay, so here's what we have. We have our service account. We can edit this GPO. This is linked to the management servers group, which then affects server 2. Makes sense in my head. This may provide us with the ideal opportunity to further our AD exploitation. Remember when we discussed the sysvol directory and enumerating AD? This is the directory where AD GPOs are stored to be replicated to domain joined machines. A GPO is a virtual collection of policy settings. Each GPO has a unique name called the GUID. That's why if you try to read the contents of the sysvol directory, it won't make a lot of sense with all the random names. Each Windows computer has a local policy configuration. This contains several notable configurations, such as applicable configurations for services such as the firewall, antivirus, and app locker, local group membership such as the administrator or RDP, user groups, startup configurations such as scripts that should be executed, and security and protocol settings such as SMB version 1 for support. These are a few examples. There are a significant amount of configuration options that can be set. Group policy management. If you only have one Windows computer, it is easy to change the local policy configuration directly on the host. However, you need a mechanism to deploy a configuration from a central location in large organizations. This is where group policy management comes into play. Instead of defining policies locally on each machine, group policy management allows us to define policies directly on the AD structure. Essentially, we can define GPOs for AD objects such as specific OU or group. Domain joined computers would then pull all policies from sysvol periodically and apply the relevant ones. By default, policies are replicated every 15 minutes to the GP update application. We can, however, also manually execute this application from command prompt, which is the GP update/force. Exploiting GPOs, although there are several ways in which GPOs can be exploited, we will stick with the simple solution of adding an AD account we control to both the local administrators and local remote desktop users. This will allow us administrative privileges on THM server 2 and the ability to RDP in. We could also use the exposed SSH port, but not many orgs have upgraded to providing SSH access. Hence, RDP access or conventional lateral movement techniques like SMB exec are safer. In order to modify the GPO, we need to access the group policy management as the AD user that has the relevant permissions. We could RDP into THM server 1 as the user, but that may kick the user out of their active session, raising suspicion. Instead, we will RDP into THM work 1 with either our normal or our tier 2 admin account, inject the AD user's creds into memory using the runas command, and open MMC to modify the GPO. For a recap on the runas command, refer to the enumerating AD room. However, the required command is also provided here that should be executed from an administrative command prompt window. And so we're doing this. We're going to execute this command as that service account, right? I believe. Now, you can also run this. You can run something similar to this in terminal. I just can't think of the syntax, so we can jump into an RDP session. Once prompted, provide the password associated to verify that you provided that. You can run that. You can start the Microsoft Management Console. Okay, so let's do some RDP. We're going to RDP into THM work 1. There's a few different ways you can do this. Let's go here. Let's go ahead and look at what our creds are. What do I have open here? Oh, that password file. Okay, we can, well, let's go ahead and grab that. Where was it at? I forgot what it's called. Service account was called Service Servman. Did I get that right? No, I think I did it wrong actually. No, I did it right. Okay. Okay. So now, if we cat, let's see our creds. We can use our low-level creds. It says we could also use server admin, but no, we're logging into the jump server. Just looking at my creds there. So we have that. Now we can do Remina. Do I not have it installed? I just remember the syntax for that. Let's go ahead and install Remina quick. That's the one I'm more comfortable with, used to. Should be the same thing because it's RDP. I just don't remember the syntax for X-free RDP. Maybe I should just look that up. Oh, that's pretty easy. We could do this. We'll still install Remina anyways, but X-free RDP looks like pretty simple syntax. Well, so our user is Louise Thornton. Password ISLR3423, and then we need to grab the IP address for that box. All right, too many things open. Some people have like all these tabs open. It drives me crazy. Okay, we're connecting to this one, I think, 83.248. .200.83.248. Do I have that right? Yep. So far, so good. So then what we're going to do is that run as command. Blah blah, a normal or tier 2, inject the ADs using memory using the run as command. Okay. So let's just go ahead and copy this down. Our user is service servman, like that, I think, right? And then it might prompt us for our password at that point in time. If once prompted, provide the password associated with the account. So let's go here. That's why I don't like RDP. It's just so slow all the time. But in a real world environment, obviously you're using it. I can't copy and paste. Fine. Probably good practice not to. Oh, my mouse froze. There we go. Run as net only user user za.tryhackme.loc service serve man, I think. Okay, now it's asking us for the password. Nope, wrong one. I don't think it's gonna let me copy and paste for some reason, so we'll paste that over here. Pull up our RDP session, so SUP3RSTR0NGPASS that. Should still show it because we did run as, so it doesn't actually change over to that other user there. It's on the network, if I recall from what Amoeba Man told me when we first did this. So looking at the time, okay, I got a little bit of time, and the newly spawned command prompt, we can start the Microsoft Management Console. We now want to add the group policy management snap-in. File, add remove snap-in. There we go, and we're looking for group policy management. Dir sysvol to check if password's correct. Yeah, let's go ahead and check that real quick. So this you can check if the password's correct. Maybe it's not correct. Maybe I did that wrong. Let me try that again. Let me try the whole process again. I just wish I could copy and paste. Maybe I can go like this. Just to see if it is copy and pasting. It is, okay. Oh, specified domain, then sysvol. Like that. Gotcha. Ah, okay. Well, we did do it incorrect. Let's try it again. I'm gonna close this out. Thought I copied it that time, but maybe it really won't let me copy. Okay. SUP3RSTR0NGPASS. Now if we do dir okay, good. And now we're looking for group policy management. You can see we have a few here. So we're looking for group policy management right there. We're going to add that. Click OK. Okay. We have our forest right there. And we should be able to see GPOs. Yep, we can. We can now navigate to the GPO that our user has permission to modify, which is the management server pushes, right? So make this bigger. Can I pull this over? Here we go. Servers, management server pushes. Okay. We can right click on the GPO and select edit. Oops, over here. In order to add our account to local groups, we need to perform the following steps. Expand computer configuration. expand policies, expand Windows settings, expand security settings. We're gonna be running close to time. Right click on restricted groups and add group. If the IT support group already exists, it means someone has already performed the exploit. Okay, click browse, IT support, check names, hit OK, hit OK. The best filter is not used. For the second filter, we want to add both the administrators and remote desktop users group. We can click apply and OK. And now we have to wait a maximum of 15 minutes for the GPO to be applied. After this, our initial account that we made a member of the IT support group will not have administrative and RDP permissions. Oh, and I never made my initial account a member of the IT support group. I mean, I did last night, but it's 11:43 anyways, my time, and I have to jump onto my work computer to work now for the next few hours. So I think what we'll do is we'll call it a night right here, and I stream again on Tuesday. I'm actually taking my daughter camping, so I'll be live back on Tuesday, and I think on Tuesday we'll be able to finish this exploiting AD room. So we'll have 3 parts, and on Tuesday before I stream, I'll try to offline work through this till I'm to this point, and I'll make sure my account is in the IT support group, and then we'll be able to continue and finish things off hopefully on Tuesday. So for those of you who've been hanging out with me, thank you for hanging out, and a special thank you to Amoeba Man for making the room and hanging out on Twitch and helping me when I get stuck in silly parts. But I'm going to take a short break and then jump into my day job and hope my kids let me sleep in the morning. But for those of you guys hanging out, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys have a great Friday. Hopefully it's going to be Friday for you when you're watching this. Maybe you're watching this on a Monday and tomorrow's Tuesday. I apologize for me. Tomorrow is Friday. So hope you guys have a good Friday, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.